On a dark October night in 2013, Hanlon's pub in Cabra, a suburb on the north side of Dublin, was alive with the excitement of a 21st birthday celebration. The party was in full swing, and among the revelers was Greg Lynch, one of Dublin's most notorious drug dealers. As the clock approached 2:30 a.m., Lynch stepped outside for a smoke, unaware that danger was lurking in the shadows. As he walked onto the street, a gunman clad in dark clothing and a menacing balaclava approached him with a semi-automatic handgun. Without warning, the gunman shot Lynch at close range, the bullet hitting him in the face and shattering his jaw. Lynch crumpled to the ground, his world exploding into a symphony of pain. Chaos erupted as the gunman, fueled by ruthless intent, ran across the road, firing indiscriminately into the crowd of partygoers lingering outside. Amid the frenzy, 3 innocent women were wounded by the hail of bullets. With bullets still lodged in his head, Lynch was rushed to Mater Hospital in critical condition. There, he fell into a coma, his fate hanging by a thread as medical teams fought tirelessly to keep him alive. The aftermath of the shooting left a community in shock and a trail of questions about the motives behind such a brazen attack. As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that the gunman had not acted alone. He disappeared into the night, escaping in a light-colored BMW strategically positioned by an accomplice. The pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place, revealing a sinister plot orchestrated by a powerful figure in the criminal underworld. The mastermind behind the shooting was none other than one of Europe's most notorious crime lords. The attack on Lynch was not just a random act of violence, but a calculated move in the dangerous game of Dublin's criminal underworld. Lynch's survival was uncertain, and the motives driving such a ruthless attempt on his life remained a mystery. The incident left many wondering about the identity of the criminal left clinging to life and the dark forces at play. Who was Greg Lynch, and why was he targeted in such a violent manner? What events led to that fateful night at Hanlon's pub, and who was the shadowy figure pulling the strings behind the scenes? To uncover the truth, we delve into the murky depths of Dublin's underworld, exploring the life and times of Greg Lynch, his rise in the criminal hierarchy, and the dangerous enemies he made along the way. Join me in this video as we unravel the events leading up to the attempted assassination of Greg Lynch, the immediate aftermath, and the long-term implications for Dublin's criminal landscape. This is a story of power, betrayal, and the relentless pursuit of dominance in a world where loyalty is scarce and violence is a currency. Discover the truth behind the headlines and the real story of Greg Lynch. Let's delve into it. Greg Lynch, originally from the Oliver Bond Flats, has maintained a strong grip on the inner-city drug trade despite relocating to various addresses in the southern part of the city. Operating from the shadows, Lynch has turned the inner-city flat complex into a sprawling drug supermarket. The innocence of childhood in the area is marred by the grim reality of discarded needles and crack pipes littering the streets. Residents, gripped by fear and silenced by the constant threat of violence, have waged a silent war behind closed doors, tirelessly campaigning to rid their community of the drug scourge. Despite the surveillance of 11 CCTV cameras, the complex remains a haven for dealers. The illicit trade continues to thrive day and night, with the hustle and bustle of drug activity persisting amidst a landscape strewn with the remnants of addiction. Lynch's reign over illicit activities first came to a halt when the Garda National Drugs Unit arrested him following a major heroin bust near the Red Cow in South Dublin in 2003. Convicted in 2004, Lynch was sentenced to 8 years in prison, with 2 years suspended. After his release, Lynch, a close associate of enforcers Gerard Hatchet Kavanaugh and Paul Rice, quickly became a key figure within the notorious Kinahan Cartel, wielding significant influence over its operations in the South Inner City. Targeted by Operation Golden Eye, the guards cracked down on the cartel, aligning their efforts with ongoing investigations in Spain. By the summer of 2010, intelligence pointed to Lynch's alleged control over a vast network of 60 dealers, establishing him as one of the most senior cartel members in Ireland. Navigating the streets in luxury jeeps chauffeured by his personal driver, Lynch found himself at the top of law enforcement's hit list as they intensified their efforts to dismantle the senior ranks of the Kinahan Cartel. Although the cartel did not originate the practice of exploiting children in drug operations, they have certainly perfected it. Vulnerable youngsters, some as young as 10 years old, are recruited and given tasks such as transporting drugs and cash on their bicycles or acting as lookouts. These children are groomed into the dangerous world of organized crime, and if caught by law enforcement, their age often protects them from severe consequences, leaving the authorities with limited options. However, the consequences for these children within the cartel are severe. Those who lose drugs during searches may be beaten or stabbed, serving as a chilling warning to others. Once ensnared in the cartel's web, escaping becomes a distant dream. Using tactics of intimidation and coercion, the cartel instills fear into individuals with no prior criminal records, forcing them into roles they never imagined. Disobedience is not an option, as the repercussions are lethal. Families in Dublin's south inner city lived in constant fear, resorting to desperate measures like remortgaging their homes to pay off drug debts and protect their children from violence. The 2013 shooting of Lynch was not an isolated incident. He had been targeted before. In the months leading up to the attack, Lynch, a convicted heroin dealer, had received numerous death threats from rival factions. Just the previous December, another attempt on his life had failed due to a botched surveillance operation by his attackers. While Lynch was recovering, his cartel allies accused fellow drug dealer Derek Bottler Devoy of orchestrating the attack at Hanlon's pub to seize Lynch's territory. The response was swift and brutal. Bottler's brother, Mad Mickey Devoy, became a victim of revenge. He was lured to his death, executed with 3 shots to the head and neck, and his body was dumped in a desolate laneway in Tallaght. Lynch's associates believed they had the right target when they killed Devoy after the shooting. However, Lynch later discovered that Devoy had been wrongly accused and had no involvement in the incident. In an attempt to make amends, €100,000 in compensation was offered to Devoy's brother Bottler. Unfortunately, when Bottler tried to transfer the funds to the UK, the Criminal Assets Bureau seized the money. After the Regency Hotel attack and the fracture within the Kinahan gang, Lynch was informed that his own associates had been behind the attempt on his life. Shockingly, these would-be killers were his childhood friends. The inner-city flat complex where Lynch grew up also housed mob boss Daniel Kinahan and his brother Christopher Jr. Their mother Jean Boylan spent her entire life there, and her local authority home passed to her partner Harry Mallon after her death in 2014. Lynch's father, Gerard Bra Brady, shared a close friendship with the godfather Christy Kinahan, who also lived in the Oliver Bond flats for a long period. It was in this environment that Greg grew up alongside Daniel and his brother, forming bonds that would later be tested by the dangerous currents of the criminal underworld. Lynch eventually discovered that Fat Freddy Thompson, another childhood friend, had ordered his assassination. Thompson's anger stemmed from Lynch's romantic involvement with a woman, a betrayal that sparked a deadly feud. Seeking approval from Daniel Kinahan, Thompson asked for permission to eliminate Lynch, which appeared to have been granted. The reason behind Kinahan's consent remains unclear, considering Lynch's significant role as one of his top dealers. Despite surviving the attempt on his life, Kinahan and Thompson crafted a false narrative blaming Devoy, which ultimately led to the death of Devoy's brother. The intricate web of betrayal and deceit among childhood friends eventually unraveled, leaving behind a wake of devastation and fractured loyalties. In the ensuing years, Lynch decided to distance himself from his former associates in the gang after uncovering the truth about the attempt on his life. Despite enduring the lasting scars of the life-altering shooting for years, which left his face paralyzed, Lynch has recently revealed the impressive outcomes of extensive cosmetic surgery. Through these expensive procedures, he now presents a revitalized appearance, appearing almost unrecognizable compared to his former self. After undergoing numerous surgeries, Lynch has boldly re-emerged into public view, confidently posing for photographs during his outings, symbolizing his victorious comeback from the shadows of his history. And that concludes today's video. What do you think about today's topic? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you want to catch our upcoming content. Thank you for watching. U4.